Goodness gracious, Marvel fans.
Great Scott.
We've got to talk about the newest leaks, rumors, and reports all about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And in this video, we're going to focus on the X-Men or mutants. There are reports of many different X-Men being in Multiverse of Madness and some weird rumors that more Fox X-Men characters will be showing up in the MCU after this film. What's up, everybody? It's Josh coming at you from Nerdventures Tower, and smash a like on this video if you are super hyped up for the mutants to be coming into the MCU. I've said this many different times before, but I'm telling you right now, just watch the X-Men hype. Watch the mutant hype. We've seen a lot of crazy things go down in the Marvel Cinematic Universe thus far. And of course, Spider-Man's and all the Spider-Mans being in No Way Home was a massive deal for Marvel fans, but you do not get any bigger than the X-Men. This is likely why in this newest trailer for Multiverse of Madness, Feige puts a big tease of X-Men right in it. We hear Patrick Stewart's voice in that trailer, and we've been talking about Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier in that movie for a long time. And for the record, Sir Patrick Stewart has actually come out and commented on his voice being in the trailer. He's playing super coy about it, as you would expect, saying that people have been pretending to be him for a long time. He was just watching football, so how could it be him in the trailer? It's kind of fun, and not to the level of Andrew Garfield, of course, because this is different. He's being teased in the trailer, so he can only go so far as saying it's not actually him. But Charles Xavier is not the only mutant that's going to be in Multiverse of Madness, and he's not the only mutant out there denying his appearance. We talked about this in a stream late last week, but Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds, big rumor that's picked up a lot of steam recently about that character being in Multiverse of Madness. And this man gave one of the worst denials ever in an interview recently, which had me cracking up on stream.
Tell me everything about your appearance in the Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, wow, Mark. But I'm really not in the movie.
Ryan Reynolds. Let's just kiss.
This combined with a lot of different reports out there from people like My Time to Shine Hello and Rob Liefeld himself teasing stuff out on social media, I'm pretty confident that Deadpool is going to be in the movie. But in a weird twist of events, John Campea said on his show on Friday that Deadpool is not in Multiverse of Madness. Now, to be crystal clear, Campea referred to the source telling him this as a extremely reliable insider, and that insider is saying that Ryan Reynolds is definitely not in Multiverse of Madness. Now, before we get into what I think is actually going on here, I just want to say, like, John Campea, you blocked me on Twitter, and man, I just don't get it. I've always thought Campea had a pretty good sense of humor. In fact, I thought for sure when he said the Tobey Maguire dick comments, he knew he was fair game for being memed on. It was just a little joke, John.
But look closely at Tobey Maguire's dick. Look closely. Maguire's dick. Look closely. Maguire's dick.
Anyway, let's talk about this. What could this mean? Well, there's two main things I want to bring up here. And the first one is something that I'm going to try to repeat as much as is possible as we head towards Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And that is that this movie has essentially been remade and they're still adding stuff to it. The movie shot a lot of principal photography. It tested, then it did 6 weeks of extensive reshoots, enough reshooting to make an entirely new movie. It has since then screened versions of that film and is rumored to be doing even more filming right now to be adding different things in it. And so when you're hearing a lot of people say, a source told me this, or I'm saying this, or an insider is claiming that, it's really important with this movie in particular to take all of that with a grain of salt, because there are so many moving pieces here. And as we're going to talk about with other reports as well, we don't know how this will actually play out in the final version of the movie. Do I believe that this person has seen a version of the movie and then told John Campea that Ryan Reynolds is absolutely not in the film? Yes, that's what I think is going on. Could there be a version of the movie that we see in theaters that has Deadpool? Yes. Could Deadpool and perhaps even Domino and maybe even Cable be in a post-credit scene for the Multiverse of Madness? Yes. So it definitely means something that John Toby Wiener looking Campea has a source telling him Reynolds is not in the film, but it doesn't necessarily confirm that Reynolds is not in the film. There's a lot going on here, and I personally think there's way more evidence to suggest that Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool are in Multiverse of Madness. But now let's talk about another fan favorite character. That would be Wolverine. So let's look at this latest report here. I'm over on murphysmultiverse.com. It says here one more rumor has made its way online, teasing an additional X-Men potentially appearing in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It doesn't look like the rumors will end anytime soon surrounding Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. At this rate, they may be adding any character they possibly could, which hopefully won't take away from Doctor Strange's story. Right after a new Lego set may have confirmed two long-rumored Marvel characters joining the film, it will seem that more rumors popped up. The Illuminati's Joseph has shared on Twitter that we'll see an addition of Wolverine. In his tweet, he does go on to highlight that it will not be Hugh Jackman returning to the role, so we are left to question of who it might end up being if this rumor turns out to be true. Plus, we might expect the character, as he could either be a part of the Illuminati that we got teased during the Super Bowl trailer, or he may appear throughout Strange's journey. So here's the tweet right here. He says here, we will see Wolverine in Doctor Strange of the Multiverse of Madness, but it definitely won't be Hugh Jackman. So let's talk about this. Now, there was a long-standing rumor that Kevin Feige wanted Hugh Jackman to appear in Multiverse of Madness. And in fact, right around the time that we were hearing people like John Krasinski and Sir Patrick Stewart were having meetings with Kevin Feige, we also heard that Hugh Jackman was taking meetings with Kevin Feige. Now, other insiders throughout the course of following that since the 2 years ago interviews have said that this plan has changed back and forth. Again, a long-standing rumor. Now, the most recent updates to this story had some insiders claiming that Hugh Jackman was just not ready to come back, that they very much wanted him to be not only in the movie, but to play a big part in that big fight with Wanda, but that didn't end up happening. So they scrapped that aspect of what was going on in the movie.
Excuse me, I'm Eric Lensher.
Charles Xavier.
Go fuck yourself.
And My Time to Shine Hello recently said that Hugh Jackman is not ready to come back, but he's possibly open to coming back to the Wolverine character for Secret.
Luke, you're our only hope.
And that kind of seemed to be that when it came to Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and we were looking forward to all these other crazy cameos that would be going on in the movie. This kind of came out of nowhere with Joseph saying that Wolverine's going to be in the film, but it's not going to be Hugh Jackman. Now, again, what is the truth of this? What is going on? I want to point out that this movie has so many different things going on. It basically filmed a whole nother movie, and then it's still filming. So it's possible that Joe heard, oh, you're going to get a Wolverine. It's not going to be Hugh Jackman. And then out of nowhere, they sneak in a Hugh Jackman thing without many people knowing about it, and it's a crazy surprise for the movie. I don't actually think that's going to happen because I think the leakers and scoopers that we've been following are actually pretty good at what they're doing. So I don't think Hugh Jackman's going to be coming back for this movie. But having Wolverine in the movie is really, really interesting. And this could be just another Logan out there in the multiverse, or it could be a specific Logan. One of the big rumors out there right now is that the Patrick Stewart we see in the Illuminati for Multiverse of Madness is actually the same Professor Xavier from the 97 X-Men show, an upcoming reboot / extension of the old 90s X-Men cartoon. And a lot of folks just believe that in order to sort of super hype up that show, which personally I don't think needs any more hype, like let's freaking go, more 90s X-Men, but to give it just a little extra spice, they might make that universe and those characters canon in some sense to the MCU or the Marvel multiverse and have some of their members show up in the Doctor Strange sequel.
Get some really cool 70s gear on and party on back there.
I'm going to veto that.
Right. Sorry.
So could we meet a live-action version of the Wolverine that we meet in the 97 X-Men show? It's possible. It's also possible we'll meet the canon 616 version of Wolverine from our own universe, who maybe's just remained hidden throughout the Infinity Saga. Either way, this is really crazy because this is teasing out Charles Xavier Logan from the X-Men, and Deadpool, and the possibility of other characters like Deadpool being in this movie. We also have major rumors of Magneto being in this movie as well. And so it seems like there's just a ton of X-Men hanging out in whatever that building is, or maybe in other universes throughout Multiverse of Madness. But there is a possibility that all of this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to X-Men and how Feige is planning on introducing the X-Men to the MCU proper. And this brings me to this tweet, a very recent tweet by My Time to Shine Hello. It says here they want more X-Men back, but not in Doctor Strange 2. Okay, so let's talk about what this could mean. X-Men back. This is referring to Fox X-Men. There's no way she's just talking about our own X-Men, because then they wouldn't be coming back. They'd be new characters. Talking about the older X-Men characters, she's also recently come out and said that James McAvoy is not in Multiverse of Madness, and there was never any plans to have him in Multiverse of Madness. But I found that tweet to be weird. Like, out of nowhere, she's just kind of tweeting that. She also said that Ian McKellen's Magneto is not going to be in the movie. So there's some kind of an effort here to explain what X-Men will be in Multiverse of Madness and what X-Men are maybe on the table to be brought into the MCU later. And to me, one solution for how all of this could work together might end up putting us at a place where Wanda will do a reverse House of M at the end of Multiverse of Madness. This is actually a long-standing rumor, again, kind of put out there by My Time to Shine Hello, where there will be something that Wanda does at the end of the movie that's supposed to have massive impact on the rest of the MCU and the MCM, the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. Because let's think about it. Hugh Jackman, not ready to come back yet, but open to coming back later. Feige and company wanting more Fox X-Men to come back, but not in Multiverse of Madness. A ton of different X-Men being in Multiverse of Madness, possibly also being connected to the X-Men 97 show, which will come out in 2023. I personally think Kevin Feige is trying to set up the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a way that as he heads towards Secret Wars, he can actually do what he did with the different Spider-Man in No Way Home, but a actually better, more open, thorough version of that with all of his movies headed towards Secret Wars. Basically, you may see multiple versions of X-Men character appear in the 616, because I personally believe that if Feige had the total rights to Spider-Man and all of it back from Sony, he would just be doing the Spider-Man thing with Tobey, Andrew, and Tom in the MCU. Like, why wouldn't you do more of that headed towards Secret Wars? And we know that Feige is rumored to really want all of those characters back for his Secret Wars film, but he can't do that because Sony owns the rights to them. So it's very likely that Sony will go do Spider-Man or Spider-Verse stuff with those actors over in their own movies. But Feige completely has the X-Men back. He can bring back the Fox X-Men, establish his own version of the X-Men, and nothing's going to stand in his way to doing that. And you might be like, well, that'll be a little bit too weird. What if we get established versions of X-Men characters coming into the MCU as the X-Men are being founded? Isn't that going to throw everything off? And I would say, not really. This actually happens in Marvel Comics, where future versions of the X-Men do come back to mentor new versions of the X-Men. And we don't know what exactly Wanda will do at the end of the movie. Maybe she's actually just going to start destroying the entire multiverse, causing these different characters to need to come into our universe. It's possible she destroys a bunch of people, including that Charles Xavier, but there are other X-Men or mutant characters from throughout the multiverse that now have a communication with our Doctor Strange and are going to work together as we head towards Secret Wars. It's possible Feige is just setting up different distinct universes that he will have come to odds or have get into conflicts together to create a new multiversal war, which will be his version of Secret Wars. Either way, a lot of evidence to suggest that you're going to get a ton of X-Men and mutants in Multiverse of Madness, and it's only going to be the beginning, as after that film, even more X-Men and even more Fox X-Men might start showing up in Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Of course, let us know what you think about all these different crazy reports and how we're tying it together with our own headcanon here. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to this channel to catch more of our reports as we head towards Multiverse of Madness and all other big nerdy things. And make sure you check out our live streaming channel, man. We have a ton of fun over there and break down a lot of these different concepts and ideas and theories live. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.